So after just week one, like who are you saying, man, just looking at, and obviously it's been only 1 week, but looking, who do you see as natty favorites?
Team in the country currently, Ohio State.
Yeah.
Till I'm proven it, till it's shown otherwise, man. Like that defense is top notch. The offense only gets better. I mean, we've seen glimpses. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure Julian Sand looks at the film like, damn, I do got Jeremiah Smith 1-on-1 down the field. I'm taking that every time. It's just his first start, so I think he only gets better. Um, and yeah, you gotta dethrone the kings of college right now. So that's who I'm rocking with to win it all again.
It's got to be Ohio State. And their defense, bro, with Matt Patricia as the DC, like it's on a whole new level. And then Urban Meyer was actually talking about it. He's like, for the last, 6, 7 years, everybody's asked, like, how do you replace like Marvin Harrison? They replace him. How do you replace Egbuka? They replace him. How do you replace JSN? They replaced him. And it's just it's nonstop with Ohio State. Same thing with the quarterbacks. Like, how do you keep replacing these guys? Julian Sand comes in. Like, it's just, and they talk about the running backs they lost last year. It's a factory, man. So they're gonna be hard to beat. They're not gonna be beat. They're gonna win it again.
Sound like you just called them wide receiver you without even saying it, bro. Ain't gonna lie.
Nah, I showed love to the other positions.
You ain't name them like you did that wide receiver room though.
Ohio State
All
defense
good
is
though.
nasty.
It is.
They fucking nasty. It's of course Ohio State, but I like what South Carolina got on defense. I know it's crazy to say, but I like Lenore Sellers too. I think he has that it factor. I think they have all the pieces. It's just defense wins championships, and South Carolina defense, they've got some hitters over there.
Stewart was going stupid.
Yeah, so
Number 6, they
Mhm.
DN.
Mhm.
Going crazy.
Yeah.
Some
I
people put them as
remember
a natty sleeper.
I'll remember when we were recruiting
Oh, y'all
Dylan
know
to
who
go
I'm
to
rocking with,
Tennessee.
man. How do Anthony, you want to go first before I get on my spiel, man?
No,
Which
no,
one?
you good, you good. Go ahead.
Oh man. So let me tell y'all like it is, man. This team we watched on Saturday night, man, they went into the fake Death Valley. Cause they know, if you from the Bayou, I'm not from the Bayou, but I know about them boys. I've been to the campus. I seen what it's like. You know what I mean? And that's the real Death Valley right there. So they went to the fake Death Valley and beat the number 4 team in the country convincingly. And like, you don't like to see a team win out the gate, you know what I mean? But they showed that they got grit. Like we already said, we already spoke on it. So man, I got LSU as my number 1 team, man. And specifically, they had the number 1 transfer portal coming into this season. Dustmeyer, great quarterback. As you see, you got guys like Aaron Anderson, Barry and Brown, the guy who got his touchdown taken away, but a hell of a catch in that process. You got Jelani Watkins, speedster that could just make plays with the ball. I mean, I was saving this for a long time, but LSU, I think they really gonna live up to that wide receiver U title with this core group they have. And then even this, you got Harold Perkins coming back off that ACL injury last year. You got Whit Weeks, one of the best linebackers in the country, with his brother next to him, who is just as promising as he is. Probably both first round talents. The biggest question mark I always had for him was that defense, but they showed that they could play with the best of them, and they can make plays. Just in coverage. I didn't see a lot. I didn't see the turnover aspect, but they could definitely make plays in coverage. LSU, man, Brian Kelly, I think it's feeling, the buildup is feeling like 2019 once again. So I'm getting a little excited, but I definitely got them as my number 1 team right now after this previous week, man, for sure.
I think they do have like 5 or 6 first rounders for sure on the LSU on the starting lineup.
I would say, once again, I agree that I think they had the most impressive win. Even with Florida State versus Alabama, like that was a very impressive win. But the way that LSU went to Clemson, I think they had the most impressive win in week one. Um, I'm not going to say these guys are the favorites, but it should be interesting to see how they operate because nobody's really been talking about them, and that's Georgia, right? They kind of been under the scene. Like nobody's really. They're talking about Texas. They're talking about Ohio State. They're talking about LSU. They're talking about South Carolina. Can they be a factor? They're talking about Bama. Can they bounce back? And it's kind of like Georgia's kind of like, okay, everybody's forgetting, right? We are a couple of injuries away of really competing. Carson Beck didn't finish the year, right? Now Gunnar Stockton is going to take the realm and really try to operate in that offense. So I'm not saying they're going to win it, but it's going to be interesting. Their first test will be against Tennessee. Y'all know I love Tennessee, so I'll be very in tune in that game. I think they actually play Tennessee in 2 weeks. Then they get a bye. Then they play Bama. So um, those that 2 game stretch that they have, we'll see where they're at. But it's kind of scary to me to see how nobody's kind of putting their eggs in the Georgia basket right now.
I think they're the SEC favorites, but I do also want to call out Oregon and shout them out. Oregon looked really good against Montana State. And then something that's really interesting is Oregon plays Oklahoma State this week. And Oklahoma State's not the powerhouse or anything like that, but Oregon is 28.5 point favorites over Oklahoma State this week, which I think is very substantial. Two Power 4 teams, and Oklahoma State's no slouch. But yeah, I think it says more about Oregon than it does about Oklahoma State. Like, they're gonna be right there again this year, with Dan Lanning and the whole staff. So they're definitely cooking something up in Eugene.
If y'all listen to me, make sure y'all pick Oklahoma State if that's true, because 28 points is crazy. That shit is crazy.
They gonna be in your DMs if Oregon State max them out. But going back to my point with Dylan Stewart, I think we were recruiting him going to Tennessee, or when I was at Tennessee, just like anybody else in the nation was recruiting him. Like, and I just remember in a meeting, one of the coaches was like, "This dude could play in the NFL like next year," and that's how highly touted he was as a senior in high school. So like, just to see, like, I'm not surprised that Dylan Stewart is as impressive as he is. I would say on the other side of the things, I'm not as impressed with Lenore Sellers after that first game. And I don't think it's his fault. I think it's the hype that all the QBs got before week one. Arch Manning, Lenore Sellers, Cade Klubnik. This was supposed to be the year of the QBs, and a lot of them didn't really live up to the hype. So we'll see. I'm looking forward. Week 2 is not as I'm sure y'all seen and did y'all predictions already, but week 2 is not even as close to hype as week 1 was. I think Michigan and Oklahoma will be a good game. I think Oklahoma's QB is nice. Like, I think he's going to be the real deal. So it should be interesting to see how the true freshmen go into Norman this Saturday.